The moment I'm on set and I really plug into that, everything starts to change. Hi, my name is Nambitha Ben-Mazwi, and this is my Masterclass. African excellence on a global stage, brought to you by Showmax. I want to give you the perspective of how to strategically navigate your career, to also set yourself apart, but most importantly, build a sustainable household name that will be the epitome of African excellence on a global stage. Now, why me? Well, let me brag a little bit, honey. I've just obviously come off the cusp of hosting at the Essence Film Festival in New Orleans. I was handpicked by Beyoncé for Black is King, of course, a household name as a leading lady on Showmax's Empini. First African to hold the most international credits on Netflix. I'm sure you recognize me on shows like Savage Beauty, Happiness Ever After. And today, I really want to help you navigate yourself in a more business mindset. I'm going to be touching on subjects like business of the arts, how to equip yourself also on set, on the job, but also navigating a more longer career. And as we said, we're all about that African excellence to the world. First thing is, what is your why, your vision? Companies would call it their mandate, their objective. You need to have that because that becomes your North Star. That becomes your reason when it's hard to get out of bed. My vision, personally, an example, it is to be the epitome of God's unlimited glory. That is my personal why. So for me, in every single thing that I do, if I'm not that example of how far God can take you, if a young girl's not looking at what I'm doing and be inspired and say, there's nothing that God cannot do, then I have not met my personal why. The strategic why, the strategic vision, has always been to build a household strong name that can have a global reach and a legacy. Now, that has been my strategic why and vision throughout. It has helped me navigate how I approached my career from the moment I moved to Joburg in 2016. It also helped me choose the things I said no thank you to. And you need to understand there is power in saying no. Yes, it might be hard as an independent contractor because you don't know when your next paycheck will be. And that is why you need to have a strategy and a plan that's quite meticulous, that's diversified, and that will take care of liquidity. I want my reel to look diversified. I want it to showcase range, and I want it to have a global presence. Now, seeing how far I had gotten, I had to then make a very strategic decision that is in line with my vision, right? I had then assessed the market, which marketers call this the STP, segmenting, target audience, and positioning. Assessing the market is important. You need to know the market you're currently in. You need to know who the target audience is. This is going to also help you choose which projects you take on. An example, international streamers are going to be aligned with your vision of growing an international brand. So if you want to do that, you need to make sure that the target audience is an international audience, right? If your vision is to be a household local name, then your reach and target audience will be channels that are free to air. If it is to build an African-centric brand, then of course we know Showmax is your streamer for that, right? Now, positioning. Positioning is so critical because once you know what your vision is, building an international career or building an international reel, then you know that I need to position myself in a certain way in the market. Now, this will be a deciphering factor in how you show up. This will be a deciphering factor in the projects that you choose. This will be a deciphering factor in how you manage your personal brand as well. If you want to position yourself, as I said, as a household name in South Africa, then you will go for soapies. that's a great way because you get the numbers, you get the relationship with your audience, your target audience, you get the loyalty, you get the credibility, and you get also the sustainability of it all, and you get stable income with that. So it really does depend what your vision is and how you'll position yourself. If you're positioning yourself as an international artist, then you would want to join an agency that has that reach. You need to give yourself quarterly targets as if you're in sales, and that's what I learned when I worked in corporate. You need to tell yourself that every single quarter you need to make a certain amount of money that is going to break even, make sure you're able to live and take care of the bills and take care of, the brand and all of that. With series, I knew that series are roughly 6 weeks. With films, I knew that I would be able to showcase my range, and I said I'm going to only do series and feature films and campaigns. The reason for that is to build an international reel. My first project was Black Mirror, the US one. Then I did Madiba across Lawrence Fishburne, where that was a BET show. And then I did Doubt on Zatsi Magic. I'll never forget, that was my first local production, and it was a series. And with just those 3 first projects in 2016, they all are exactly what my vision is a part of. Yes, I'm solidifying myself here locally, but I'm also acting across Lawrence Fishburne, and I'm also on a US show showcasing a different range. And that's exactly what helped me decipher the decisions I go for. How I was able to survive with that strategy is voice work, Do as much voice work as you can. That's liquidity, that's cash flow, that can pay the bills. TVCs, TV commercials, go to castings, get those TVCs. There's good money in commercials that can take care of the bills. And should you also just want to take time out, you're able to, you're affording to be able to take a sabbatical. So make sure you're always choosing things that will help you. Of course, now with social media, we know influencer work, that's a great way for you to leverage off of your brand as well. But also that comes with the vision. How are you positioning yourself? My toolbox is something I'm always working on. I'm increasing my skills as an actor. I horse ride. I was a Muay Thai fighter back in 2014. And yes, that was 2014 where I was a Muay Thai fighter, but look at how it's only come across now on a role like Empini, where I get to really showcase my craft as a stunt actor and an action artist. So never underestimate, always continually adding to your actor's toolbox. Also accents, as I mentioned. My vision has always been obviously a global stage. So for me, Nigerian accents, because I know that's also a target audience I translate to, dark skin magic, let's go. You need to also understand, what can you position yourself in, right? So for me, I knew that my aesthetic can translate into certain different industries, and I made sure that I can perfect those industries, whether it needed a skill set of a different dialect, a different accent. Make sure you find yourself that dialect coach. Make sure that you get that UK accent, you get that American accent, you get that Nigerian accent or Eastern African accent, whatever is needed. You gotta always stay ready as an artist. Building your team. Right, yes, we know that the agent is the most important. That is your representation. That's the person who's going to bring you those castings, bring you those auditions. But after the starting point, it is always a good idea to build a holistic team. Now I'm talking a business manager, an accountant, a legal advisor or lawyer who will go over all your contracts. These things also will protect you from knowing that you can also leave a contract and you're never stuck. A business manager who takes care of also your finances, making sure that you're okay for years and years to come. Make sure you have relationships with designers, makeup artists, hair, you name it. Have that team that you've built a really great relationship with that knows you as well, that knows how you like things done, and that is always consistent with how you look. For me, being an advocate for dark skin magic is so crucial. So for I'm always comfortable with certain makeup artists that know how to enhance my dark skin and keep me looking the same every single time. When you're obviously selecting the projects, you need to select projects that are in line with your vision, right? Get a brief from your agent, is asking the right questions. What type of role is this? Where is the story arc of this character going? Who is the distributor or channel? You know, that's incredibly important because this is going to be in line with how you want to position yourself, which we spoke about at the beginning, and obviously what your vision and what your why is, right? So if you know it's a free-to-air, you know where that will land. If it's going to be, you know, a Showmax, you know that it's going to be a continental show. Always thinking about your positioning, your target audience, and your vision. Right? Now, for feature films that are more independent, questions I always say ask, because this is where now you don't have the security or the credibility of a channel backing it. It is an independent feature film, but you also want to grow your reel. You want to be on as many films as possible and get that feature film experience. Questions I always ask: who is the director? Quickly do an IMDb search. Look at their credentials, look at how they work, look at what type of work they've done. Who is the DOP? Because that's also going to give you an idea of how the picture and the frame and the quality of the show is going to look like. And then, of course, ask who are they thinking your co-stars are going to be? Who are they thinking of casting? If I'm going to now introduce myself as an actor, I wanted to solidify myself as a thespian first, branding-wise, because I saw that the market has a way of typecasting personalities and actors. I noticed that it's very easy to lose yourself 10 years down the line in a soapy where you are so typecasted, people don't even know your name. They call you by your character name. I wanted casting directors to see me as a blank canvas, who is a thespian, who can delve into different roles, who can showcase range. And if I had introduced myself to the South African market as a presenter, casting directors and producers might not be able to see past my personality. I wasn't trained particularly. I don't have, tertiary education when it comes to drama and film work. I just have on-the-job training and theatre background. But for me, I took auditions as opportunities to learn. I came with the insecurity of being a theatre actor and now stepping into a film set. I needed to also be cognizant of the fact that I need to break away the theatre work and learn a new internal way of performing for film, performing through the eyes. And I learned this from casting directors, listening to their feedback after your first audition and them really giving you direction, and ask questions. There's so much value in asking questions. From the moment your agent gives you that brief, I always like to ask, okay, what type of role is it? Am I supporting in this role? Is it a lead? Who does she have a relationship with? Can I see the sides of the love interest? Because yes, when it is at audition level, all you have is sides and you're almost just trying to find clues of this character. Maybe at times you'll get a character bio that is very brief, but always look at what your character is in relation to the co-players. Directors, producers, oftentimes know all they've given you as a side, but they are so keen to see how you've interpreted the character. So that is key for me to give you advice on, is get as much information as possible. On-set etiquette. Cannot emphasize this enough. You need to always be professional. You need to arrive either early or always on the nick of time. Show up prepared. Show up prepared, have your notes, know your continuity, know who this character is. Strip the character down where it is like almost just stepping into shoes. Ask many questions, be vulnerable, be open to learning, be open to finding different perspectives. Treat people with the utmost respect, understand that it takes a team. It takes a team. Your crew is there for you. Your co-stars are there for you. Your director's there for you. Your channel's there to make you great. Understand that those relationships are so key because you're just a small little piece into a larger puzzle. On-set etiquette is so critical because, again, you never know when someone's gonna vouch for you. You never know when someone's gonna mention your name in a room or a meeting. So make sure that you're just also great to work with, you're a joy to work with, but you also are a team player who arrives on time and contributes to the success of any production. After the job, D-rolling. Probably my most favorite subject to speak about because I like to choose the most craziest roles that are vastly different from each other. I always like to choose roles that challenge me, that will stretch me, and that will showcase range that I didn't even know I have. That means as a method actor, as a sensory actor, I need to invest in my de-rolling process. I'm always in my earphones. I think I've been in my earphones even while shooting this. I listen to soundtrack music. An example, the moment I'm on set and I really plug into that, every single thing, it feels like I just need to step back into the shoes and everything starts to change. But most importantly, de-rolling trips are what I personally take, particularly for these reasons, where I'm just one with nature, I'm able to dive, I'm able to go hiking, I'm able to just be at peace. You can either purge the character away, you restore yourself back to self in your own way, maybe take a friend, whatever you need to do, because what's important is you don't want to take that character into the next character. Right. You've just gotten off a groundbreaking Showmax successful show. The ratings went up the roof. Your brand is seen. You're seen. What do? Leverage off of that reach. Great way. We touched on personal branding, and I know you guys are going to hear more about that in a different masterclass. But it's so crucial now that you know where your numbers are, where your visibility is. Brands are where the money resides, literally, okay? Now, make sure the brands that you choose to partner with are in line with your vision, are in line with the target audience that you want to be showcased to, and are in line with how you're positioning yourself. Make the right decisions, pitch to brands, allow them to also see that you are in a show that's brought on 1.4 million viewers on prime time. Of course, brands want to align with the reach that you already have. Make sure that your brand is consistent, authentic, and credible. Because 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, you still need to be who you are, and there's no way to also fake who you are, you know? Next steps. Now that you've watched my masterclass and you want to build that African excellence on a global stage brand, where you want to build a long-lasting legacy, okay? You need to know your why, you need to know your North Star, you need to know your vision. If your vision is to have overnight fame, great, but that's not gonna give you sustainability. But if you want to have a sustainable career on a global front for many, many years and leave a long-lasting legacy, you gotta be credible, you gotta be consistent, and you need to understand why you are doing it. Of course, that actor's toolbox, always work on it. And last, but definitely not least, have fun. We're artists, we get to play, laugh. The magic is in playing. We get to become other people. We get to heal by doing that, and we get to heal others by doing that.